When I was 8, my father sat me on his lap, and together we drove a Caterpillar D9 through the front door of our house. We rumbled up the steps, bashed through the doorway, and squinted in the spray of dust and paint reflecting orange light from a sun that had just peaked above the horizon. Then somewhere in the living room, my father seemed to have second thoughts. He stopped, wrapped an arm around me so I wouldn't vibrate off the machine, and struggled to get the thing into reverse. For years after, whenever my mother told the story, she'd screw up these details. Have I ever told you about the time Ella stole a bulldozer and drove it through our home? She said through, like we tore out the back and into the yard. But having only made it as far as the front room, it was more like he drove into our home. But that's not how things started out. For a while, our life just sort of simmered. My mother had been a folk singer and then an interior designer. Although by the time I was in 3rd grade, she had a part-time job at a local elementary school teaching slow kids how to read. She never called them slow, although I heard my father use the word a time or two. He ran the warehouse for R. Frank Burroughs, a local flooring contractor. Although when he was home, he spent most of his time in a workroom upstairs painting duck decoys. I was their only kid. We lived in a new and unfinished subdivision called Winding Pines in those open, dry lands east of Solvang. There were no pine trees anywhere, and few trees of any species more lush than the wasted sourwood in our front yard. A thing I used to lay underneath and imagine was a giant sequoia. The only completed part of Winding Pines was its circuitry of paved roads, trafficked mostly by industrial machines and the few other residents tempted by early bird discounts. Like my parents, who'd moved in soon after I was born, the summer before a scheduled grand opening that never actually happened. For most of a decade, Winding Pines remained in a constant state of semi-completion. Each finished, moved-in home flanked by framed skeletons, house halves, and empty lots. Construction machinery ruled the grounds, along with mounds of gravel, dead-end paths, and thousands of orange cones. The whole place had the feel of a never-to-be-finished purgatory, but the roads were glorious, paved smooth, wide, free. For a kid with a bicycle on summer break, it was paradise. From all over came the sounds of slow, perpetual home building. I rode in the middle of the street, navigating around rumbling excavators, compactors, loaders, and earth movers of all kinds, greeting the operators of these machines with wheelies and breathless hoots in the wind. I pedaled fast for stretches and then coasted, weaving back and forth, circumnavigating their neighborhood's roadways, buzzing by finished and unfinished structures, gravelly lots, occasionally bouncing over curbs and then down dirt paths until dead-ending at some giant machine flanked by orange flags stuck in the ground, lengths of wood and aluminum stacked beside unmarked, shrink-wrapped skids, covered loosely with canvas tarps.
Hi, my name is Levi Fuller. I'm excited to be interpreting the work of short story writer Greg November for Jack Straw and the Bushwick Book Club. I really like Greg's work. I gravitated toward the story Decoys, but all of his work resonated with me. I think we have a lot in common. I'm a dad and a son and I guess a guy of a certain age. And for this story, there were a lot of different directions I could have taken, but I ended up kind of going from the dad's perspective. The story's from the point of view of the son, but it's not really about the son. Anyway, so I kind of went from the dad's perspective and tried to imagine things, what it was like to be in this relationship and in this sort of place where you're stuck and don't know what to do about it and do something probably unadvisable. So here you have it. I don't know if you hear me, but I hear myself. I know this isn't helping, and I know I'm stuck. Treat our home with a little respect. It's a new place, that's all I've got. Leanne, Leanne, Leanne. I don't know if I'm the man for you. We've simmered as we hold it all together. Let's see what happens when we blow it up. It wasn't the decors, it wasn't the carpet, it wasn't the boy, and it wasn't even you. But then it happened, I knew what to do. But you were out with friends, I started up the dozer. Leanne, Leanne, Leanne. I don't know if I'm the man for you. We've simmered as we hold it all together. I guess it's time for me